Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of your Footy Fantasy podcast. My name is Zaza, and I have with me a returning guest who most of you know very well, Mr. Oladimeji himself. Welcome. Good to see you, brother. How you doing?
Good, not
That's
bad.
that's
Yeah,
great.
we've been,
That's great.
yeah.
I bet you're not doing so well regarding what happened in the past 2 hours, but I don't want to. I don't want to start gloating because I'm not in a position to gloat right now.
Go
so
for it.
no. Well, actually, I should kick you when you're down because I don't know when next you'll be down. Wow.
Oh,
So,
yeah, it was not
guys,
great.
if you haven't been following us before, please do subscribe. We are on all your major podcasts, uh, your podcast avenues. We're on YouTube as Footy 80 Fantasy. As Footy Fantasy on YouTube, Footy Fantasy on Facebook as well. However, on Twitter it's different. It's Footy 80 Fantasy. It's the same FOOTIE Fantasy, all of them straight, but with Twitter is Footy FOOTIE Alpha Delta D Fantasy. Please remember to subscribe, share, and give us feedback. We want to hear from you. It's been a very interesting season of football. It's been a very interesting season of football. The comments are already coming in.
This Mr. Arsenal guy, calm down.
He's feeling good right now. I can see that. They're all crawling out from wherever they are.
Honestly.
One of my favorite football guys said, "Football, bloody hell." It's one of those seasons where you're going, "Oh man, what is going on?" When you think you're praising one guy, all of a sudden another guy just. When you think somebody else is dead, all of a sudden they wake up. When you think somebody is doing good, they die. It's one of those things where it's only been two teams I would say that have been consistent, and that would be Chelsea, who have been consistently good, and Norwich, who have been consistently terrible. The rest, well, I mean, it's fair to say that because the rest of the Premier League teams are literally separated by less than 10 points. It's a
Mm.
matter of something that can turn in a in a month. You're
Mhm.
looking at Leeds at 11 points and Man City at second at 23 points. That's a 12-point gap. So that means Leeds could easily be sixth or seventh in a month if they're going on a winning run. And
Yeah.
Manchester United,
Case,
for example, yeah, Manchester
case in
United,
point. Case in
who?
point. Arsenal.
Arsenal,
Arsenal.
exactly.
Yes, but look, within a month, see where they are now. That's why people like Adeyemi Joanu. he's
They're
now
waking
he's
up
now
all
running
of a
it. They're
sudden.
waking up within a month. Within a month. See what happened.
Yeah. So I don't know where we would want to start with. We have so much to talk about. I would probably want to start with the Manchester Derby. Let me swallow that and walk out of here and come to other things because that would be probably the worst part of the show for me. But it's been that bad for months, so I don't know if I should be surprised. So I think we start there. What do you think? Manchester Derby review?
uh, respectable defeat. This is what I really call it. Come on, 2-0 of Man City. It was, yeah. They didn't come there to start scoring 3, 4, 5 like some teams that we know. They just went there, dropped two, and they left. You guys should be happy with that. Respectable defeat. Um, yeah. Okay. Trolling aside. Trolling aside. I think Ole went probably with the right plan, but maybe the personnel not to execute that plan because I think the back three is probably a good way of stifling them if you do it properly. I think he has used that in the past actually against City, and it's worked. Actually,
That's right.
he has a good record against Pep,
That's
so
right.
his record is surprisingly quite good against Pep compared to other coaches. So my issue, well, from watching it, the thing is, in possession, United struggled. I mean, when they actually got the ball, they didn't really know what to do with it. They didn't put passing sequences together. Maybe only once or twice throughout the whole match they did that, and that's reflected in the stats. That you
That's
guys
right.
touched the ball. in the opposition box only 4 times throughout the whole match. That's not great. Even against Liverpool, you touch the ball in the box multiple
More
times more
times,
than
yes,
that.
there were chances. That's right.
Yeah, yeah, you guys attacked. You had a bit of, but against Man City, I just think the problem was. I'll use the example when we played Man City because I know it's not easy to play Man City. Let's not lie; they're a very great,
They're a
very
very
great
good
team,
team. That's right.
very good
Very,
team.
very good
So
team.
when we played them this season in the first half, they overran us the way they overran United. They overran us, and Klopp was shouting on the touchline, "Be brave, be brave." You could actually, the camera even caught him saying it, "Be brave." The reason he was saying that is against Man City, they're going to have the ball, but when you get the ball, you have to be calm and try to pick passes out of their press. You can't keep kicking it long. When you keep keeping it long, they just win it and recycle and come back again.
That's right.
So that
And
first half first half, I'll just quickly round up my point. So first half
that's okay. Go ahead.
against Man City, we had the same problem you guys had yesterday because Man City kept recycling, overpowering us because we could not hold on to the ball. We were not passing. We were not looking for the avenues to pass out. But second half, the game changed for Liverpool. Problem for United was Lindelof, um, Bailey, Maguire, they were not passing the ball into midfield. And then when they did pass it into midfield, people like Fred, sadly, are not good enough on the ball. And then your other midfielder to McTominay is not too bad, but you needed in the times where you got the ball, you needed time to get out of that chokehold because they choke. Man City, they choke teams, they choke you. If you don't get calm enough to get out of their press, they keep choking you. So I think that was the problem. The formation for me was not bad. The formation at the start, the plan was good, but the personnel didn't execute it. And then immediately that second goal just killed it. That second goal before halftime. If you guys went in one goal down, I think maybe you might have gotten something out of it. But that second goal, God. And it was so annoying because that goal should have been prevented, not even from the cross.
Mm.
Maguire saw the ball coming. Luke Shaw saw the ball coming. They left it. And I was like, why are you guys leaving the ball for? Silva to just tap it in, So yeah, that's
it's
what I think about that match.
it's one of those things where whenever we played football when we were younger, they would tell us if you're playing with someone, especially in defense, they'll say di- distrust and cover.
Hmm.
Basically, the guys, you expect him to win the ball, but play like he won't win the ball.
Hmm.
Because if he misses the ball and you're not ready, you're done. And that was what happened. Three people from Maguire to Shaw and the goalkeeper was expected
Yeah.
every other person before them to deal with the ball. And because it was a save De Gea should have made. There's people say
Mm.
it was a tough save, but it was right in. It was something he could have pushed up. He could have knocked it out, but he wasn't expecting the shot. He
Yeah.
surprised him. But
Mm.
the thing is that this point you make about tactics or formation, I don't think a problem with Manchester United has ever been a formation. Because like people say, they complain about a double pivot, and I turn around and say the best team in the league right now, Chelsea, literally play double pivot. There's always Kovacic and Jorginho. Nobody's complaining about a double pivot in Chelsea. You know, whenever it's the problem is the way it is deployed, maybe the personnel, maybe the tactics. And what I mean tactics is how they execute it, the way the passing sequences. Because United seem to be a team that is confused. They're in between being a team that goes for it and a team that plays counter. If you're going to play counter football, then you have to stick to it. If you're going to go for it, then you go for it. But you can't be in between. You can't have a player like Bruno Fernandes running gongo every time to press the keeper while the rest of his midfield is dropping back off. And then you're right. There's this lack of courage, which to me is a bigger indictment on the manager. And I'm not trying to bash the manager. I'm trying to review the game. But
Hmm.
you cannot have a team of quality players that are afraid to play.
Hmm.
If the players are afraid to run, if Manchester United's problem is off the ball, you would say, okay, these players don't want to defend. But on the ball, players don't want to. They kept giving the ball away. Like when I mean giving the ball away, you
Yeah.
get the ball, you pass it quickly. They were taking the easy option every time. Nobody was trying to get on
Hmm.
the ball. Nobody was
Yeah.
trying to, seize the ball and do something with it. And like you said, the only time they passed the ball, they ripped Man City apart. They created a chance that could have easily been
Yeah.
a goal,
Hmm.
but that was the only time. The rest of the game, they went back into their shell. So I think there are bigger problems with Manchester United beyond the game. It's not a tactic, it's not a formation issue because it's like no matter the personnel, no matter the game, it's almost the same performance. I think the Tottenham game, because of the riot act after the Liverpool performance, was the only game where they changed. Atalanta was poor. If you want to be honest, even though they came back from behind, it wasn't the kind of performance you expected from a team that had just been down, bounced back, and wanted to keep going. They literally, were coming back from, they were coming from behind against Atlanta. They were going for it all the whole game. That was the whole, because if it was a better team, United were not coming back from that game. If you're being honest, because the goal was scored in the injury time of first half.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
second goal, the second equalizer was scored in injury time. It was a case of maybe the team had thought they had won, or they were looking at halftime and said, okay, ref, blow the halftime whistle, and they got sucker punch. So I just think because if you look at a match where the derby game, Everton, for example, in the past 5-6 years have been in the shadow of Liverpool, but they rarely get outplayed. They get beat, but they rarely get outplayed to that level in a derby. You come into a derby and you want to kill. So going into a Manchester derby where the opposition, you had more shots on target on your own keeper than on the other keeper. Not even
Um, uh,
like
that stat is amazing. That
yes,
stat is
and
amazing.
yes, and looking at this comment, people point to something else, and I want to see what you feel about this, Ola, because like Johan is saying that's the problem of having Ronaldo. I don't believe that. That's a very close-minded way of looking
I
at
don't.
football.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I see both sides of it. But
Hmm.
for me, I'll stick with what I said when this initially came up.
Hmm.
If you have the chance to sign Ronaldo, a club cannot be turning down this the chance to sign Ronaldo. I don't know, like Ronaldo is 36 years old, but man, that guy is still good. Now, okay, it's true. Maybe he's creating maybe structural problems, but even at that, United had structural problems when Ronaldo wasn't there.
That's right.
They had problems
Hmm.
that season too. Even without Ronaldo. So when people keep saying, okay, when you have Ronaldo there, this is what it causes. Yeah and no, because with Ronaldo there, okay, maybe you have to tailor your game in a way. But apart from that, United all had the same issues. You guys have been talking about these issues for the past 2, 3 years under Ole that doesn't have a clear game plan, and that's still continuing this season. I think Ronaldo is the cause of that. In
No,
fact, Ronaldo has done the most to keep that guy in the job.
the job.
To be
That's right.
honest,
That's right.
because without Ronaldo, you guys would probably be in the Europa League by now.
So
you know.
what I
So
think people do with Ronaldo is they think scoring goals is easy, and so they go, "Oh, all he's just doing is he's just in the game. He doesn't do anything but score goals." And I go,
scoring goals is the
"Okay."
hardest thing in
And I
football.
go,
Actually,
"Okay." There are people who do everything but score goals. Like Aston Villa would be very very happy if Oli Watkins could just score goals instead of every
exactly.
other thing he does. Because every other thing he does, they're doing it already, winning the ball and like, dude, score a goal. So number one, scoring a goal is very, very, very important in football. It's to me, it's a big, big plus to have. You can't now say that because one player is not running, that the rest of the team is not running hard enough or they're not dropping off. No, you can't. You tailor a game like you say to fit him. I don't see a game that is tailored to fit Ronaldo anyway. With all due respect, where's the game that is tailored to fit him? The goal on, for example, some of his goals are just wonderful. How do I put it? Individual
Brilliant, yeah.
brilliance. The last goal he scored was a wicked shot. The ball just
Mm.
landed. It wasn't like it was crossed to him. Yes, there've been a few crosses in one of some games and he scored some wonderful headers. But if you look at it, how many crosses? You still have United players going to the wings and cutting backwards and passing inside. The only player that is actually seems to be looking for Ronaldo a lot is Bruno Fernandes. He's the one that seems
Mm.
to have been most affected by Ronaldo's presence because he's not taking as many shots as he used to. He's not trying to score as many goals as he used to. He's not going out and You see, like somebody's actually saying, Onomeso is saying the same. It's not actually one player not running. It's the entire forward. They never track back. Exactly, because like I was saying a few minutes ago about Greenwood and Bruno. Bruno would go and press, and Greenwood is chilling. Right? You can't have Greenwood chilling, Ronaldo chilling in a game. You have to get Greenwood pressing. An 18-year-old that doesn't want to press,
Yeah.
it's not, like what is the guy being fed? Who's telling the guy he's that special that he doesn't want to press? The thing with
No, that's not the
Ronaldo. Then sometimes Wan-Bissaka doesn't know that Greenwood is going to press, so Wan-Bissaka doesn't follow up with the press. He's chilling. Sometimes Wan-Bissaka is pressing, Greenwood is chilling. So you get that. Sometimes you notice that their players have played together for so long. Like when Rashford and Shaw played together, they seem to be in sync. But once they all start falling out of form, they all fall out of form at the same time. Maguire and Shaw. There's just little things you go and you go, there's something fundamentally wrong with this team. Because if you look across every team in football, not everybody is in wonderful form. What happens is teams cover up for the limitations of what they have, and they make the best of what the limitations of the players they have, and they make the best of the super capabilities of the players that they have. You can't start calling Ronaldo a plus when you're using his pluses, and you can't start calling him a minus when you're not using his pluses. It's basically there's no plus. At least his plus and minus should be zero. But when you're not using the plus, the minus will keep being pointed out. That's just me. But
even at that, to be honest, the last two games I watched, Ronaldo did a lot of running and a fair bit of pressing. I saw him running, chasing down players. There was even a clip I saw in the Atlanta game. He ran all the way from the front, all the way back to the left flank to press the player to help out Shaw. He ran all the way from the front. So there are actually instances in which, of course, he can't do it all game. He's going to preserve some of his energy, but it's not as lazy as people make him out to be. I don't get why there's this kind of exaggeration that he's just strolling around. If you watch Messi is, I'm not dissing Messi, but Messi is actually the person who does a lot of strolling around.
That's right.
Ronaldo doesn't do too much of strolling around. Okay, Ronaldo doesn't run everywhere, but he's not strolling around. He puts in a lot of effort. So I think it's just people just come with that misconception that he's just standing there in the box waiting for people to cross the ball into it, and people are just bent on fixating on that point that he's just waiting there for people to cross. But when you watch the game, I don't watch all United games to be honest,
right.
but the ones I've watched, Ronaldo doesn't play like that. He doesn't just stand there in the box waiting. He does put himself about a bit. Now the problem is when you guys are not creating chances for him, then of course he's not going to score goals.
Wait for the ball.
Exactly.
He's not going to score goals. That's quite right.
He's not going to score goals. Like yesterday, the only chance you guys, like you said, the chance you created for him, he volleyed the ball and the goalkeeper saved it. That was the only chance you guys created for him throughout the whole match. So if you created more for him, he probably would have scored a goal against Manchester City. But overall, City are just a better team. And City, they do that to anybody. Let's not just lie. Let's not just say, they did it to Man United. They've done it to even better teams than that. So City, they're just...
I want to be honest and say something very, very important, which is, City does that to everybody, but City should not come and do that to Old Trafford. At least the 2-0 was good, but the second half, they should have left there feeling like, okay, we the first half was good, but we don't want to come back here. They literally just chilled and said...
That's what Roy Keane... He had what Roy Keane said in the studio. It was like, we would just have run around and kick somebody. Like that second half, we were just like, man, I have to kick somebody just to make myself feel good. That's what they said. Just to make myself feel good, I'll just go around and kick. I just kick somebody. Like it's bad.
I want us to touch briefly on these two teams that surprisingly, it's probably it's the thing about football. The best thing since sliced bread is usually the best thing right now. Arsenal were dead a month ago. Moyes was dead 3 years ago, and it wouldn't do us. We wouldn't do justice if we don't actually go and talk about these two teams. I want to do the West Ham. I want you to do Arsenal. So talk about what you think about Arsenal and Arteta.
Yeah, well, for me, I think I've always felt that he needed time. Of course, banter aside, you'd be like, okay, this guy's inexperienced. But when they started the season, they had some major injuries. I think Ben White was not truly fit at the start of the season. They bought somebody in midfield who was. I think Partey was also missing. Of course, that start was terrible. I think they lost 3 games, like considered 9 goals or something. So the start was terrible, but they did have injuries, and injuries do matter, especially when you have key players missing. So I think that affected them. So I felt he needed time to get those players back into the team. And now he has gotten those players back into the team. They look more solid. They're not conceding goals anyhow. They've got a good goalkeeper. I still think I think they should have held on to Martinez because that would have saved them 30 million that they went to pay for Ramsdale. Because I think Martinez is as good as Ramsdale, but now they have Ramsdale is doing well. Um, their defense is the thing is that their defense is not bad. Their defense is not bad. They know how to. Ateta knows how to set them up. They don't concede too many. I think what they suffer from is they don't score too many
They
either.
don't. Yeah, they don't create too many chances. Yes,
They don't create too many clear cut
Mhm.
chances. So they just grind out wins 2-0, 1-0, 2-0, 1-0. Maybe I think they beat Spurs 3-1. I think that's probably their biggest win of the
That
season
was
so far.
that
Yeah.
was that
This,
Derby effect. They were really opening that game. It was a
so,
very
but kudos
interesting
to
game.
Arteta. That's
Mhm.
why I thought the criticism was deserved because they had a poor start. But I just felt when those players that were injured got back into the team, then Arsenal would really show up. And for us, it's worrying now. Well, I wouldn't say worrying because we have a good record against Arsenal, but maybe it's good that they're coming to Anfield because that's their next game after the
That's right.
international break.
Hmm.
Maybe it's good they are coming with confidence. Maybe that will help us beat them easier because now they want to come and play. They're in confidence. They're like in full confidence. They might want to come and play. So that might help us. But yeah, I would have preferred for them not to be in this very good form because Liverpool are conceding goals every
That's
match.
that's a
We're
weird
conceding too
one.
many goals.
That's a weird
Yeah.
one. I can't explain.
Mm.
I will be honest. You said it all regarding them. There's nothing much to add. It's been he's done a good job and he deserves high praise for bouncing back. A lot of managers would not have bounced back from that, so he did well. Um, regarding Moyes, it's a weird thing. It's a
The
weird
chosen one.
the
The
chosen
chosen one.
one. I will have to go out and say that man's been vindicated and that man can hold his head up high no matter how the season goes. Because I don't see West Ham imploding. I don't see West Ham finishing less than seventh or eighth, which is still very good. Of course, people will be like, that's a bad position to end, being that they're third right now. But given the quality of teams competing in the league, and like I said, there's not too much of a gap. One bad, 1 month of bad, one 1 month of bad form,
Bad result. Yeah.
of bad results, and all of a sudden they're out. But in general, it's also that thing of sometimes patience. See, West Ham fired him the first time, picked somebody else, and then went back to him, and we're now realize that okay, look, we're gonna, let you do your job. We'll give you time because they found out they're not getting relegated anyway, and he kept them up.
Hmm.
Built. There's some jewels in that team now. There are players you can go and say these players could play anywhere. I don't see Mikel Antonio struggling to play with Manchester United, Liverpool, or Man City. Anybody? He's a good player. Declan Rice is good. You
Oh,
know,
very good.
Oh, yes, very, very good player. This is the defender, the right back, Kufal.
Mm.
Kufal to me is
Though
a
yeah,
top, yeah,
he
top
has not been
player.
playing recently. That's the thing. Sorry to cut you there.
That's
That's the
okay.
Kufal has not even played for like 4 games. They've been playing this young lad called Ben Johnson. He played again
That's right.
today.
That's right.
That shows you how Moyes is maximizing the squad because Kufal is actually fit, but he can't get back in the team, and he's a good player, but he can't get
Yes,
back in the
that's
team
true.
because Moyes is maximizing that squad. They've used the least number of players. I mean, their squad is small, but what he has been doing is he rotates a bit in Europa League, but he still gets them like maybe to play in the Premier
The
League.
league. That's
He,
right.
he's not. He's making sure everybody is involved. And the biggest thing why I agree with you that they won't implode is this form they've had has been for over a year. The
Yes,
statistics show that for this year, I think after Man City, West Ham have picked the highest number of points.
that's
After
right.
Man City and maybe Chelsea, I think even
That's
more than
right.
Liverpool, they picked more points than Liverpool this year.
That's
So
right.
I
Yeah.
don't see them imploding.
I don't,
Now the only problem is their squad is small. So if they get major injuries,
injuries.
then
Yes.
That might kill them.
And there's a question mark over the what's his name, the fitness of Mikel Antonio.
Yeah, yeah.
Mikel
It gets
Antonio.
hamstring
He
injuries.
gets
Yeah, it gets
hamstrings there,
hamstrings.
and so
Yeah.
he gets it at the wrong time, and they might have problems. I want to
Mm.
also praise him for one other thing because people do not praise him a lot for that. People seem to forget that, and which is um his buys. The guys that came
Mhm.
in,
Yeah, yeah.
Zuma, what's his name?
Sushek, but Sushek after
Sushek,
a loan.
Sushek, that's right.
Yeah,
Sushek
yeah.
came. Yeah, Sushek
Ben
came.
Rama.
Rama. There was another guy that came. He hasn't played much, but the guys I mentioned now are the main guys that have been in the team. I don't know why it's his name because I haven't, to be honest. I only see them when they're on major TV here. I don't really go out looking for their games, unfortunately. So I can't remember. But there's a midfielder. Um, as a midfielder, the guy that replaces this guy when he's not there. I think it's not Masuaku. Masuaku is a defender. But there's
Masoko is the left back. Yeah,
yeah,
left
there's
winger.
another midfielder that they have. The guy from Czech Republic,
Okay, it's not Sushek, the other Czech
the other
guy.
Czech guy too. He's coming. He's not done a superb, but he's getting games. He's doing well. I forgot his name.
Mm.
They're players. So he's really done.
He's
He's
good in the
done
transfer
well.
market.
Yeah, he's done
Yeah,
well
he
everywhere.
doesn't. He has not wasted money. He has
He
not
hasn't
wasted money
wasted
there.
money.
So.
I just think maybe like some managers, maybe like Unai Emery, there's a level he performs best. So climbing to the top club with the extra pressures will was not the best thing for for him. And I think right here he's found his level and he should stay there because he can do a lot of wonders there.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
there's a comment that came in. It's from a Nomeso to going back to the Manchester United thing. He goes, pressing is an act. Everyone has to press. I don't think United actually practices how to press on the training field. Look at the first goal they considered against Liverpool. My Sunday League team won't press that way. In the Atlanta game, you can see a chasm of space between Bay and Maguire. There's a lot of if we start tactically analyzing Manchester United, we won't leave here today. I won't lie to you. Do I want to go back to the Newcastle game, to the Leeds game, to the Southampton game? There are too many games where the young boys games where there's just too much space. Of course, the problem with football is you can't leave too much. You can't say you can't leave space because there's always space. There has to be space somewhere. If you feel the
Mm,
middle, there's space outside. But you have to know what you're doing. Knowing, okay, we're letting them play outside because we're strong in the middle, or we're kind of spreading them our team out because we want to force them into the middle because we're strong in the middle. These are and when I mean strong in the middle is that they can't beat us through the middle. Let them play through us. If they go
mm,
outside us, they can beat us easily. You have to know what you're doing. If you're just going out and setting up your team, you just look like you're clueless. And to be very, very fair, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer looks like a manager who does not know what he's doing right now. It's very, very tough to see, but it's the truth. I'm gonna do a quick one. I want us to do Manchester. Sorry, the title race. I want us to look at Liverpool, City, and Chelsea. But the problem is at this moment you have to start going that putting West Ham in there. I just you want that's
well,
a
there are only
joke.
3 points. Are there 3 points off the top? Yeah, I think there are 3 points off the top. Yeah,
Two
West Ham.
points.
Is it no
Oh no,
three?
three
Three.
points. 3 points because Chelsea
Yeah.
drew yesterday. Yeah,
Mm.
so they're 3 points now. But well, never say never. But
Leicester
um,
City,
fair
2015.
point, fair
2015.
point. But Leicester City went on top. They never left the
Yeah.
top. Well, yeah, so West Ham have to do some overtaking, but then they could easily beat Chelsea in the London Derby. That's a local
Oh,
derby for them.
oh,
That's
that's their
where,
next game. Yeah.
yeah, I believe that's their
Oh
win. No, no,
wow.
no, 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 no. No, no, no. It's not the next game. The next game is
Okay.
Wolves. The next game is
Oh.
Wolves. They're not playing Chelsea till December. They're going to play Man City and Chelsea
Okay.
between now and the first week of December. before Christmas. I know they're going to play Man City and Chelsea before Christmas. I'm not sure of the what's it called, the way it's going to look, because I don't have the information right in front of me.
Oh,
But
no problem. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. It's just even when we went there today before the game, many Liverpool fans were like, "This is going to be a tough game. This is going to be a tough game," because yeah, apart from the fact that they are very, they've become very difficult to beat. You don't hear West Ham losing 3-0, 4-0 again. Even when they lose, it's usually tight games or last minute. Like against United, I think you
that's right.
guys beat them with a last minute goal, and when they lost to Brentford, I think it was also a last minute goal. So they don't lose like 4-0. So even if Liverpool were going to win today, it's been a tight game. But the way they actually play ball now, it's not like it actually gets them playing football. They're not just lumping it to the wing and crossing. They actually can play.
They play.
And
Yeah.
it's because that midfield with Rice and Suchek is a very good midfield. And their set pieces, oh my goodness, their set pieces just cost us throughout the match. The first goal set piece, then they had one in the second half, hit the crossbar, then they scored again. The third goal set piece. It's like their set pieces are so dangerous. They have good delivery.
My
Creswell and Fornals. So they're just a difficult team. So yeah, we can't write them off. I won't put them in the title race to be honest. But I think for top four, because last season they almost made top four. It's just they lost form a bit towards the
towards
end
the end,
because
yes.
they were in for a good shout to make
Yeah,
top four last season.
they were.
So I,
They lost form towards the end, but they also had
mm,
the early season problems. They didn't start the whole season that well, and then when they picked up, they now dropped off. But
mm,
that's quite right. It will take a miracle for West Ham to finish top four, just because the other teams have a stronger bench and they're able to juggle European and league games. I do back them to finish top six. Agreed. Um, I think they
but
will.
to finish top four, they just need to finish in fourth place behind Liverpool, Chelsea, and City. So
Why you? Why
are
you
you saying
sure they
West Ham
finish
can
behind
finish
you?
before Arsenal? Ah,
Why you sure
so
they?
you're saying Liverpool? You're saying Liverpool will finish top four? Okay,
I didn't say that.
let's see.
I'm saying, are you sure you'll finish above West Ham? And that's
Oh,
just
we'll
what
see.
I
We'll see. Yeah,
said.
but that's the thing. That's the thing with West Ham. Like Onome says, that Europa League, because he has not been really rotating, that might catch up with them. But I
Okay.
still think they have enough because they're consistent enough. They still have enough to probably finish top four if they don't have bad injuries. I think injuries are the main problem for them. If Antonio, like for example, gets injured, that's a big problem. If
Antonio will get injured.
Yeah, he will because that was
He will get.
sure. He gets like
He
three
gets
or four
injured. Yes.
hamstring injuries every season.
Yeah,
Then
he will get injured.
Declan Rice in that middle. I don't think because Mark Noble is the guy they have apart from Declan Rice and the Czech guy. If
Hmm.
Declan Rice picks up a major injury, I think that's also a big problem for them. But yeah, I just have to give them kudos. I think they've all year, like I said, they've been in good form.
Yes, and of course, we forget he also has that goalkeeper who he rehabilitated. Um,
Fabianski.
no, Fabianski was a rehabilitated goalkeeper. The other goalkeeper too is a rehabilitated. This man just is rehabilitating players, man. Merama Areola. He
Oh,
can't
really?
rehabilitate.
Yeah.
Yeah, Areola looks good now. That's
Oh,
weird.
and Lingard, he
He,
rehabilitated
he
Messi
rehabilitated
Lingard.
Lingard. That's right.
And there's actually the speculation that they might be going back for Lingard in
They
January.
should.
I think that's
They
a good
should.
move. If they go for Lingard in January,
They
then that will
should.
help
They,
them
they
a lot.
need. They
Yeah.
need them, and that guy needs games. There's no point him sitting on the bench in Manchester United. I'm a Manchester United fan, and but I just want to be honest. There's nothing he's doing on that bench. My listing for the title races. I don't want to say anything about it. I think the title race is too tight. Chelsea are looking good, but it might be an Indian summer. I'm not trying to underrate Tuchel. He's a good manager, but this will be his first full season in the Premier League. There are problems that they have that look bad if you analyze it deeper. But then the flip side is they might actually not be problems per se because they're good things. Their strikers are not scoring. They don't really have
Yeah,
a
but
consistent.
they're injured. That's the thing. That's why I want to give them a bit of credit
Hmm.
because
Hmm.
the past three games they've missed Werner and Lukaku who have both been injured, and
That's right.
they got 2 wins and okay they drew yesterday. but I think they've done well coping without those two strikers, especially
That's right.
Lukaku. So I don't really see too many weaknesses with that Chelsea
No,
team. To be
no,
honest,
no.
I think that
Mhm.
the squad depth is just crazy. That's like if you see the people coming in, and they bought this guy, or they loaned this guy from Atletico, Saul, and he's
But you
barely
can't
played.
get into the
He can't
game.
get
That's
in the team
sure.
because Loftus Cheek is getting game time now.
Yes,
Barkley is getting game time. Ziyech, fantastic player, can't even get minutes. That squad depth is crazy. Pulisic, they still have Pulisic who's just come back from injury. So they just have crazy. They Mason Mount. Oh man, they just have a very strong squad. I don't see too many weaknesses there. And I think one of their most important signings was that goalkeeper, Mendy. They've got a top class goalkeeper. Now they're not conceding goals stupidly. In fact, I think he has more clean sheets than goals conceded.
that's
Imagine.
right.
He
That's right.
has more clean sheets than goals conceded. That
That's
shows you
right.
how
Yeah,
good he is. So yeah, I
yeah.
think for me, mhm.
It's a weird thing. People sometimes I think it's a curse and a blessing because it's hard to sustain it. But then you look at it, I say that's actually easier to sustain. A lot of people are scoring goals. A lot of people, there's a share of
16
goals. The
players. Yeah,
the the
they've had
top
16
scorers are
players.
defenders.
Yeah,
The top scorers
Rhys
are
James.
defenders. Rhys James and Chilwell. Like you're going, okay, so what happens when Lukaku hits from? Because Lukaku will hit from.
Hmm.
He will start, he will go. Lukaku is a streaky player. When he goes on that his streaky runs. mm,
Hmm.
so that that will be something that might come out to be good. But then he might I'm not saying this is right, but it's a question that is a valid question. People are going, maybe he's not really fit for the Premier League at the top level. Maybe I go, okay, let's give him the season. I think he's fit enough for it. He was there and he did very well before. His Manchester United 2 season, or 1.5 season, 18 months of not playing well should not be enough to judge his whole career. So we give him the whole season. I already gave up on Werner. Werner is not going to score more than 5 goals this season.
Timo Born offside winner. I can just enter offside anyhow. Offside, offside, offside.
Yeah, but in general, I think the top four is almost set. I think Chelsea, Man City, West Ham, and Liverpool are going to be in the top four. But those are it's going to be about who gets in there. I don't think Manchester United, if they don't change a manager, have enough in them to come back. It's a big structural issue. I think Arsenal can get into the top four. Um,
Yeah, because no European football. That's a
yes,
big
that's
plus.
that's a big plus for them.
No
Brighton,
European football.
unfortunately, will suffer from not enough squad, but they might also get there. They might, well, what I mean, get there is get close to the top six, not in. But I don't want to
And
make a prediction on the Premier League champions. The title race for me at this moment is one of those things where I go Chelsea on top, but are they the best team per se? They're the best team in terms of record, but are they really the best team? Can you say Chelsea is better than Man City and
yeah, they're
Leicester?
consistent. That's the
They're
thing. They're
consistent.
consistent.
But,
Yeah, they're
but Man,
consistent. That's the thing.
Man City is a slow team that builds up. This
Yeah,
three,
they
four
build
points
momentum.
gap is not a
Mm.
gap. They can win the next, they can start winning from
Yeah,
tomorrow and win every single game left in the season. Liverpool too have done that before. I think Liverpool's problem might just be some players might be getting worn out, and I think it's time um Klopp starts trusting his bench a bit more. He's been over reliant on some players, and I think some of those players,
tell me about it.
yeah,
We are complaining. The one we're complaining about now is Robertson, Andy Robertson,
that's right.
because we have a good alternative now. Robertson has been very good for us, but this season it's not been great, and he's not creating as much as he used to from that left flank. Today he was just crossing all the balls he was crossing was straight to the West Ham players. So Costas Simicas, that the guys, any time he plays,
Just played
his
well.
quality on the he has played well, and his quality on the ball is fantastic. He picks out good crosses. He's very good at corner kicks. So that's our main topic of discussion in many Liverpool forums. That look, it's time for. But that's the thing with Klopp. Klopp is loyal, and it can be a strength, can be a weakness. He's loyal to an extent where he will trust players that he has trusted before. And I don't know that sometimes you should just be ruthless and just say, okay, look, Robertson, you're not playing well, bench. Even today, I would have gone with Konate because Konate is big and good in the air,
That's
but
right.
he puts Matip. Matip is fantastic, but is not dominant in the air. And
That's
West
right.
Ham, West Ham, their set pieces are crazy. That's when you need somebody like Konate to
Yeah.
just be heading away everything with Van Dijk.
They would
So it's just because
literally target him. Go
yeah.
ahead.
So so that's what I mean. Backing up your point that Klopp should trust his bench more. It is a valid point because now we have depth. Okay, we've had some injuries in midfield, but there's some players they do well and they don't get many minutes. Like today, okay, they finally put Origi on 72 minutes. The previous game, he put Origi like maybe 5 minutes to the end of the match or 7 minutes. How can you put a striker 5 minutes to the end of the match? Minamino, you are putting them 2 minutes to the end of the match. That's not enough time for them to do and have an impact. Today, put Origi a bit early, and Origi scored. You have to trust your bench more. You have to trust your bench
You
more.
have to.
And
I agree.
at the end of the day, it's just we are conceding too many goals. That's the black and white is Liverpool are conceding way too many compared to previous seasons. Now we've kept maybe 5 clean sheets or 6 clean sheets, but the games where we concede, we're conceding 2, we're conceding 3. That's
That's
not
right.
good enough.
That's not good
That's not good.
enough.
We can't really league that way. You can't really league that way.
That's right. I think among those top three teams, they're the weakest.
Mm,
I'm not trying
I
to
agree.
say every
I
other
agree.
person
No,
is
I agree.
fairly, yeah, but they're
No,
the
I agree.
well. You have to say with a caveat because Liverpool is not a weak team. Liverpool is a
No,
team
they're
that can
not weak,
blow
but
every team.
compared to, I understand what you mean. Like
Mhm.
compared to the strengths and weaknesses of the other teams,
Yeah,
out of those three, yeah,
they're the
Liverpool are the
weakest teams.
weakest. Yeah,
Yes,
yeah, yeah. It's true. It's true. It's true. It's just okay. Maybe when our midfielders all come back, because at the moment we have only maybe 4 midfielders fit. So maybe if we have a stable midfield, that might help. But at the moment, yeah, we're leaking too many goals and we're losing games. We're dropping points in games we shouldn't be dropping. So I don't. I didn't even tip Liverpool to win the league in the first place. So I'm okay with just okay. Let's just challenge. Let's challenge to the end of the season. I want us to be in the conversation. Like let's be in the conversation at least. But yeah, look at my predictions before the season. I didn't think we could win it because yeah, we're struggling. We're conceding too many goals. Honestly, you can't. This league is so tight now. You can't keep giving. Look at Man City. They've conceded only 4 goals or 6 or 5 goals
six,
all
six,
season.
five or
Six. Okay,
six,
six.
six. Yes,
Yeah, 6 goals
uh,
in
four
11
goals is
games.
4 goals is Chelsea.
Imagine. Look at
Yeah,
that. 4 goals in 11
yeah.
games.
So I'm wondering how many clean sheets. That means they have at least 7 clean sheets.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So that's how league titles are
yeah.
won. You know
Man
it yourself.
City have 7 too because they considered two in one. Like considered two, like 2 games where they had 2 goals conceded.
Yeah,
Yeah,
against Palace
that's
and
right.
Liverpool. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
You need a lot of clean sheets. This league is like that now. If you're not keeping clean sheets or if you're conceding too many, you have no chance of winning the league. And
My
Liverpool are
last
conceding too many.
my last point to that though is I don't know about clean sheets in this league. Only a few teams are really keeping clean sheets. This league is a league where I start
Yeah,
wondering whether this league people can actually defend anymore because
yeah, but that mhm.
they only like a few teams with a positive goal difference in the
Yeah,
whole
but
Premier League. They're less than
but
five.
that's But that's why we are tipping Chelsea and City because they are the two teams who are keeping clean sheets when everybody else are not keeping clean sheets. Because those two teams are managing to keep clean sheets in this tough league. They're in this very tough league. They are managing to keep. They've kept 7 clean sheets in 11 games. Of course, I'm not saying they will go through a whole season without conceding.
Yeah,
Like,
but I know
of
what
course,
you mean.
yeah, yeah. So, but as long as you can do that better than the other team, so City and Chelsea are keeping more clean sheets and they are doing defensively better than the
Better
other
than
contenders.
yes,
So that's
that's
why
right.
those two are most likely to win the league. One of
Yeah.
those two.
Yeah, they're about. I didn't say. I said less than five. Excuse me. They're about five. And the whole 20 teams of the Premier League, there are only about 5 or 6 teams that have a positive goal difference.
Hmm.
That means only those 5 teams, 6 teams have scored so many more goals, and it's a weird thing that goes. And this actually brings us to we what I want to talk about next, which is the sacking and at Norwich, of course, plus Newcastle and Howe. The thing with that is with Newcastle and Howe, I wonder does that is that the problem? Was the problem the manager or is the problem the structure? I just we want to start with Newcastle and how because I don't think I want to spend too much time with Norwich. I don't like talking about Norwich.
Why are you beefing them now?
I'm not. Okay, let me get that out of the way quickly. My problem with Norwich is I think Norwich are just a team that come to the Premier League for the $100 million. That's just for the £100 million a year and the parachute money. They don't do any. They don't put any effort into staying in the Premier League. They never do.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
what are you? What's the point? So like it's literally the same system. They had almost the same players they had. It's the same
yeah,
mistake. They don't learn from it. They
yeah,
go up. It's a yo-yo team. So they're going down. They're going to come back next year again.
yeah.
So,
So,
yeah,
this is feeding. Well, I'm sure we'll get to it. This is feeding into my donkey of the week later on. So you can
yeah.
continue. But what you just said is why I have Norwich as the Norwich board as my donkey of the week.
But Newcastle and Howe, I read something. It was Grace on Football on Twitter. If you don't follow that lady, I think you should follow her. She's is a Liverpool fan, so I think you will enjoy following
Oh, what's
her.
her name? Sorry,
Grace on Football.
Grace on Football. Okay.
Yes, Grace on Football. She said that Newcastle, it was a troll that it wouldn't be hilarious if the first thing PIF and MBFs do is to take Newcastle down first before, in the first is they bought them. But I don't know if it's a little too late. I don't know if Newcastle are savable. Maybe what's going to help them is if Watford and Aston Villa and Leeds are not that good. But
Yeah, I
what
don't
are
think
they?
it's too late.
Hmm?
I don't think it's too late. I think that because they're coming into January markets. Yeah, they're going to of course spend some money. I know they won't get all the big stars. They're not getting Mbappe in January, so that's for sure. But let me tell you, Bucci,
Mm-hmm.
this appointments of Eddie Howe,
Mm-hmm.
uh, troll and banter aside, many Liverpool fans are so happy because Eddie Howe, for some reason, he loves dashing Liverpool extreme amounts of money for average players. when 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 he was in Bournemouth,
That's right.
honestly, like four players I bought from Liverpool, like
That Nigerian
outrageous.
boy,
Solanke, Jordan Ibe,
Jordan Ibe.
Brad
Yes.
Smith,
Mm-hmm.
overpriced, and he paid money for all of them, big money for, and all of them flopped when they went to Bournemouth. So Liverpool fans are like, "Oh, well, this guy is back at Newcastle.
So
Let's
who
come
is
and
it coming?
pay
Who is it going to take off your hands?
50
Austin
million for
Chamberlain.
Origi,
Austin Chamberlain.
70 million for Oxlade change. Honestly, because that guy, that's why I have
uh,
reservations about them. He's a good coach, but I'm not. His record in the transfer market was terrible, and also when it was at Bournemouth, defensively they were not good.
they were not
They
good.
considered a lot. They considered a lot of goals. They were good on the eye. Those are the kind of things that they're good on the eye. When you're watching them, like, oh wow, they play nice football, but defensively, no resilience at all. So I don't know how it's
Yeah,
going to. Because Newcastle, for me, what Newcastle needs is somebody who can organize them so they don't concede too many, and then they can
he's
build
not.
from
He's
there.
not going to be
It's,
that. It's not
I
going to
don't
be
think
that.
that. I don't think that's. I
That's
don't think that's
that's
ideal.
no. That's not Eddie Howe. Eddie Howe. I mean, if he had the players, if they were not where they are now, I don't think Eddie Howe is a bad appointment. And I might regret saying this because I don't like to be so absolute many times in football because football can embarrass somebody. But who are they buying in January? I mean, it's good for us. So maybe they can bid for Lingard and West Ham will finally be able to have to pay money for him. But who are they buying? Like, who are they buying? Because if you're not buying, okay, what is going to happen at Newcastle? Because you have to sell players. There's still FFP rules. You can't just leave players sitting down there. They have a lot of players in Newcastle that are average. With all due
Hmm.
respect, I don't know what Dwight Gale is still doing in the Premier League. That guy
It's
hasn't
still
done.
there.
He's still there. They still have Dwight Gale. I was watching Joe Linton.
Yeah, they still have
Yeah,
Jolinton.
those
Terrible,
are
terrible player.
yeah, like you know, not Premier League level at all. Midfielders like Joe Willock. What? Like, with all due respect, they're footballers. They're professional footballers. I'm not professional, so but at the Premier League club, this guy should be long gone. You know, you look at Newcastle. You're looking at Maximan, John Joe Shelby, Dallo. Okay, if you want to be a little bit liberal, you put them Jacob Murphy or one of the Murphys. I don't know who is who anymore, but the Murphy that plays um
He plays on the right wing.
on the
Jacob
right
Murphy.
wing.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think that's
yeah,
Jacob
Murphy.
Murphy.
Yeah,
You might put in Lewis, that guy they got from Norwich, because
yeah.
he's good. He will come out. Um,
No, they don't have enough. They don't have enough good
I mean,
players to.
so
They don't
you
have
want
enough.
to,
Yeah.
yeah, you want to buy the whole Premier League, you
No,
know?
no, they can't. They can't do that. But I just think their plan is okay. Maybe they want to. I think they want to win the fans first because the fans have been complaining. Oh, they play terrible football. They play terrible football. So maybe they think, okay, Eddie Howe will come in, make them play some good football. But I think their priority is just to play pragmatic football, stay up, and then build from there. Because Eddie Howe
That-
is coming in. I just don't think he's the kind of manager that will try and tighten them up. They need to tighten up because or else they'll just keep losing. They just keep losing games continuously.
they
But
will.
we'll see. We'll see. January is almost here. We'll see what they can pull out.
We'll definitely see because I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I don't want them to go down. Weirdly, I rarely say this. I have a soft spot for Newcastle because of
Mm.
Alan Shearer and Sir Bobby Robson. Alan Shearer was my dad's favorite striker, and Sir Bobby Robson is eternally somebody I will always respect. So for that reason, I have.
Oh, sorry,
Hmm.
sorry, Buji.
Hmm.
Before we move on from the sack managers,
Hmm.
your man got sacked today from Aston Villa.
Oh,
Your
oh,
you're good.
dismiss.
You're good. You're dismissed. What happened? I felt so sorry for him. Come on, that felt a bit harsh. But yeah, 5 defeats on the run. Yeah,
Mm, mm.
that was tough. That was tough. I was like, I was so surprised. I was like, what? I thought, okay, he's under pressure, but I just didn't think they'll pull the triggers. I think all of them were just waiting for the other teams because all these sackings just happened within a 2 week span. They just, oh yeah, you're fired. That one is fired. You're fired. You're fired. It's like all the teams were waiting for each other to move first. Okay, you fire first. Okay, then we two will start firing now. Because I was like, Dean Smith, he has done a good job to bring them up, keep them up, and then all of a sudden he's gone.
But isn't that
Hmm.
what we're just talking about Norwich now? Because if it continued, what if it drags them down? That I didn't see too
Yeah,
much of a way out for him because
yeah, but they have enough quality. They have enough compared to Norwich. Norwich don't have good players. They don't invest. Villa have enough quality. I think he could have turned it around.
he
I think
could
he could
have.
have turned it around.
He could have. He
Yeah,
could have. Like the reason why I praised him last time was because of, or I gave him such high praise then was because of the job he did at
yeah,
Aston Villa 2 seasons ago, by saving them. But then you pointed
yeah,
out something and said, but he was the one that got them into that position in the first place. And this is the
yeah.
second time this is happening because in that season he spent a lot of money. And
Mm,
then they struggled, and then the second half of the season they kicked on and became very, very good. And so
hmm.
maybe the problem is that the money he
He doesn't know
spent,
how
it
to
might
spend. He
he
doesn't
doesn't
know
know
how
how
to
to
spend.
spend, or he thinks he has too much time to build a team, and you don't in the Premier League. I think the Premier League is one of those things where I'm not saying I don't believe managers should be sacked very, very early because it takes a lot of time to rebuild. But it's one of those leagues where there's so much quality, and so you don't have too much. I think it's one of the reasons why the Super League thing came out, where
Mm,
people were afraid of relegation because I don't think too many teams are safe from relegation in the Premier League anymore. To be
mm,
very, very honest, there's no team that can really say we can never get relegated because you just need to have a very, very bad run, and you are out of you're out of contention, and the next thing you're 15. I mean, it happened to Mourinho. It happened to Liverpool at one point last season. Liverpool were in the bottom half of the table. Pep has
yeah,
been in the
almost.
bottom
Yeah.
half. Yeah, Pep was in the
Mm,
bottom half of the table. Lampard was in the bottom
mm,
half of the table. Arteta was in the bottom half of the table. Of course, people say it's the beginning of the league, but this is a league where you might struggle. You might
mm,
really, really struggle to come out of it. I'm already telling you right now, almost with confidence, that Norwich and Newcastle are relegated. That's how I feel. It looks like it looks. I mean, I'm expecting if Eddie Howe can save Newcastle. I mean, there's time, but it's a tough one because the other teams don't chill. You're expecting Bielsa to just drop. Phew, it's gonna be hard. Bielsa has already built. You'll fight against a lot of managers that have built systems that can go. Okay, look, we're gonna just go to our system, go to what do you call it, plan A, lock up. and draw. We can just keep drawing and we'll beat you. We'll get out of this. But you have to keep getting wins, getting wins, getting wins. So I don't know. He's
Like
such a, he
Conte.
deserved it. He ended.
Yeah.
He ended.
Oh,
Yeah, it's the same thing with Nuno. Nuno getting sacked and Conte
yeah,
coming
yeah,
to
yeah,
Spurs. It's
yeah.
it's almost the same thing. Nuno's case, I think, Conte at Spurs, the match made in heaven. It's no hell no. I don't think so. It's the same thing with Nuno and Spurs. Hell no. Daniel Levy's an idiot. I
He
like.
is.
I don't want to describe him as any other thing but an idiot. He's
I
one
don't
of
know why they call him a smart businessman. That guy's not a smart businessman, I beg.
no, he's an idiot. He might be smart on the business side, but on the football side, that guy is not that smart. And I say
Yeah,
that
football business, man. In football business, come on. Look, he has like four managers currently that is paying off. He signed them up to year 2023, and you are now paying them because you sacked them so early. You are going to pay them to that year 2023. What's
that's
smart
right.
about that?
What's
Because
smart
he
about
doesn't have any. There's no structured thinking to the way he hires
nothing?
managers. There's no structured
Nothing.
thinking at all.
Nothing. He doesn't want to give up power. Um,
Hmm.
Almost all directors of football that have come to Spurs have left. They don't even stay. And people are talking about the managers, the directors of football. There's almost a new one with every manager. It's
Oh
Patrici
my
now.
goodness.
It was Paul Mitchell with this guy. It was Paul Mitchell with this guy. What's his name? Poch. There was the other guy, that very high profile guy. I forgot his name. That guy that came and left. There was a high profile
Yeah.
director of football. That one that had all the God. I don't know why his name skipped my memory now because I wasn't thinking of him. Uh, um, he wants to be the boss. He wants to be one of those
Yeah.
chairmen that is in every way. Maybe he
Oh,
likes the
oh, you.
attention.
Oh no, I don't know whether you watch this. Their Amazon Prime documentary, the All or Nothing. You see
I
Daniel Levy.
watched part of it.
What?
Yeah,
Yeah, what you're saying is true. That's how Daniel Levy is. He wants to be part of the attraction. He wants to be like the main attraction too. He wants to choke him out. Those kind of oga. You could see him in that documentary. He likes the power too. He likes to be center of attention. So I mean, I don't buy into the hype that he's one shrewd businessman like that. I beg, because he's
that's
making so
right.
many bad decisions for Spurs. Now, okay, now you've got a Conte on an 18-month deal. What's the plan? Okay, so Conte, he needs a lot of money. Usually, you ask for target. You say, okay, I need this guy. I need this guy. So, are you just saying you just want him for 18 months to get you into the top four, or do you want him to build something sustainable? What's the plan? What's the 18 months? I just don't understand what he's playing at. Anyway,
That's right. He wants to do
that's good.
the. He wants to do the. He's almost obvious that Poch is his dream man now because he wants Poch back. I'm like, okay, but you
Oh,
fired him.
good luck.
You didn't
Exactly. You
back him.
fired him.
You fired him. You didn't back him. Then the next guy came. You backed that guy. It was a disastrous one. I mean, Marino was never a manager for sport. If you are trying to tell me that Marino was fired because he was struggling with the team, fair. And then the fans were telling you they were happy with the guy that came, the former player that replaced Marino,
Oh yeah.
because he was playing positive football. Then you go and hire Nuno. Like,
No, no, seventh choice. Seventh
like,
choice, no, no.
like you couldn't even hire a manager. You now hired Nuno with all
Who is
the
like Moreno Light? Moreno Light.
yeah, he's even worse than Mourinho. That guy doesn't attack. That guy can win games. He can win if he's happy to win all the games in the league 1-0. He's very happy, you know. So you don't go and hire Nuno, and then now from Nuno to Conte. So you've had Mourinho, Nuno, Conte. Like, are you serious? And your fans are saying the problem is attacking football. And then there's so many players in sports that need to be told. There's so many players that are sitting down, on fat salaries. They need to be sold. They're all sitting down there. So I'm going, okay, I'm not trying to. Conte is not the problem here. Conte is a manager of supreme quality, supreme reputation, and supreme record. But suppose like Norwich, Newcastle, they have deeper problems. It's not about
Mm.
the manager. I wish them well, but not really, because if they do well, then it's trouble for us.
Voila.
But I don't want to say I wish them bad, but I'll be honest, I don't know how that will work out. I think Conte will get the best out of a few players.
Yeah, they
Get the
drew
best.
today. I think they drew.
Hmm.
They drew 0-0 today.
Yeah, but that's not different. Too different from what's his name? Nuno. Anyway, though of course he was a little bit more adventurous with his team play. But there are a lot of players in sports that either have to be put back in or so. Dele Alli, Harry Winks, Dombele, all these guys. Use them properly or get them out of the club and pick up young players. I
Hey,
think hmm?
no, no, no,
I don't
yeah,
know.
go on.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
agree
think
with you.
there's too much more regarding that I can say. I hope they don't do well, so maybe we can get Hurricane later. You know,
Yeah, when Man City are still there.
I think
Man
that train
City.
might have passed.
Ah,
I
okay.
think that train might
But
have
what do you need the
passed.
Hurricane for now? You have Ronaldo, Cavani,
Now,
Rashford,
Ronaldo is not going to be
Greenwood.
there for. Come on, man!
Uh-uh,
All these boys,
come
they
on.
need. That's true. That's
This is
fair, but
Oliver Twist, though. Come on.
they're
Uh-uh,
being
come
greedy.
on. Come on.
They're being
Better
greedy.
go and buy midfielder. You need midfielder first before you
Uh,
start thinking of Hurricane.
they have to.
That's
They
what
have
you
to
need.
get. They have to get Rice. They have to get Declan Rice, but we don't know.
Yeah, that would be a perfect signing for United. That would be a perfect signing
That's
for
quite right. So we're
United.
getting towards the end. We're going to have to round up now. We want to do weekly awards. I never thought about this, to be very fair. I did not think about this. So I'll let you start. What
We,
do you have? You have both or one?
I know I have both, but yeah, we've talked about them, so I won't talk too much about the
Mhm.
kudos. I had Arteta and David Moyes, so those are the guys they deserve kudos, especially Arteta from where they were. He had enough time, brought them back up the table, and brought their fans out of their hiding places, so they can all start disturbing us on Facebook and social media. So good job, Arteta. He brought them out, the missing people. And David Moyes, we've talked about him already, so thumbs up to David Moyes too. But my donkey of the week, I alluded to this earlier, Norwich, and I'll give you a couple of reasons because this guy, Daniel Fack, you gave him a new contract in July. You gave him a 4-year contract, but you are giving this guy contract, but you're sending him into a battle with one hand handcuffed because you're not investing in the squad. So you went down the first time, you didn't invest. When he first came up, you didn't invest, so you went down. Then you won the championship with 97 points. He came back up. You still didn't invest. Then you gave him a 4-year contract, and then he finally wins a game. He wins a game yesterday, and then you give him his sack letter. Like that Norwich board, yeah, the donkeys of it. I don't understand what's going on there. He went into a battle with his hands tied behind his back. And how do you expect him? What do you expect? What miracle were you expecting? The squad is not good enough to stay in the league, and you gave him a 4-year contract because you said you were happy with him, and 4 months later you have sacked him,
It's
and you sacked him the
Friday.
day after he. Well, no, not even the day. The
The
2 hours
very
after he
day,
won
a
the
few
match.
hours, yes, a few
The very
hours. Nobody was even expecting it. Yes, yeah.
Yeah, it's
I
crazy.
I
So they are
heard
my
I heard
donkeys
there
of the
was
week.
something happened behind the back. There was a fight or something. I don't know if it's true. There's too many rumors that come out.
Ah,
So
no, I didn't hear
I
that.
don't
Okay.
know. Yeah, somebody said that, but it might be just one of those things. I read it somewhere. Don't even remember where I saw it. Um, I don't have kudos per se this week. Um, I have a donkey, and my donkey of the week would be the two particular guys, Roy Keane and Gary Neville. Whew, I'm tired. I wish they could just shut up. They have an unhealthy relationship with Manchester United. The power, especially Gary Neville, the power they have, right, in the media, in the English media, is so much that I think sometimes they are part of the problem happening with the Manchester United board because they're literally giving, like, Gary Neville will come out and tell you what he thinks the board will do or what the board should not do. This, that. And he says it with to the point, and he knows people are reacting to things he says, and he just comes out and keeps saying it. But week to week, I like people to be a little bit consistent when you're criticizing people publicly. Week to week, you are shifting because your what you said in the past is kind of come back to you is that you're having an egg on your face, but you're not shifting. You're trying to provide context after the fact. Each one is context after the fact. This guy's literally denigrated Boba, his attitude, whatever, in public, ripped him apart, and then they would turn around and give excuses for their friend Ole. They will tell you 1 week when Boba got red card, King said Boba was a fool. How can he come in and get a red card? Then the next week, he literally comes out and tells you he would have kicked somebody and gotten a red card. And yet you said the guy that kicked somebody when Liverpool were winning 5-0 was a donkey. I'm going, 1 week it's like when Jose Mourinho was in the club, they kept talking about the Manchester United way, and I'm trying to find out what is this Manchester United way you guys are talking about, because it's the Manchester United way. Because I know in our history we spent a good 26 years without winning. Then we spent another before that. There was another 13, 14 years. Of course, when we were relegated. Uh, Before we won our first title. So are they trying to say that that's our record, that we should go back to that, waiting 10, 13 years? Because I don't get this whole idea. Jamie Carragher actually captured it perfectly when he said, oh, because LVG and Mourinho did not do so well, Manchester United will need to leave a manager without who clearly does not have the experience or the ability to do the job in there, because those two failed. I mean, like, I guess Chelsea are wrong in sacking managers all the time and been the club with the most trophies in England since Abramovich came. It feels like I'm ranting, but I'm really, really sick of those guys talking. I think they should talk about, they're not objective. They should talk about other things with Manchester United. They should just skip them. Because like, I was watching the video when Mika Richards was trying to talk. I think Keane was realizing this guy don't go there, because he was going, oh, you spend this amount. He said, oh, look at Man City. They have Grealish on the bench. Yeah, but they're performing well. It's a different thing.
Exactly.
You can't say, oh, they're not playing. That people are saying you're not playing Sancho. You're not trying different things. And he's going, yeah, but this other, but this, you can't tell me, you can't compare Sancho playing this season or VDB playing this season to Grealish. Grealish has come in, he has played games, he's made a difference. What has Sancho done? He started struggling to bench them. They literally just kicked him out of the team. And so, anyway, those are my donkeys, and I hope I hope those guys just keep quiet. I think that's about it. I'm about to wrap up. Is there anything else you
Yeah.
want to add?
No, no, no. It's good to see United fans calling out some of their legends on their bullshit. Because yeah, those guys, yeah, yeah, you can see they're not being objective. It's
No, they're
true.
not.
But for us guys, neutrals, it makes entertaining viewing.
No,
So
it is. It
let,
is.
let them continue talking. Let them continue talking, please.
Yeah, you're that Arsenal fan TV. Whatever happened to Arsenal fan TV?
It's still there. It's still alive and kicking.
It's
Yeah,
just
but
not.
now
It's just not popular again. Or what?
no, yeah, they're not losing. It's usually when they're losing, people will go there to watch. But they're not losing again, so nobody's really watching them until they start losing before we go back and start watching.
Wow. Well, I whenever I get trolled, I say something. I say, you can call me a glory hunter, because I started watching Manchester United when they were doing very well. It's just what football was. The people that made me support the club were players. Actually, it was Eric Cantona. But I've seen enough to feed me for a while. I'm not saying I've had enough, but compared to Newcastle fans, West Ham fans,
Mhm.
sometimes you have to realize that there are 20 clubs in the Premier League and nobody has an
Exactly.
automatic right to win anything. Just
Hmm.
sometimes be glad you can watch football. Sometimes be glad you can enjoy it, because, and that's the thing with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, is it's not enjoyable watching football. The same problem we had with Jose, the same problem you had with LVG. You're going through a time when almost every game is like, what are you guys doing? And you know,
Don't worry, you guys will be all right.
yeah, you'll be all right too. It's good to see you
Don't
again,
worry.
but it's good to see you
It's
again,
good
but
to see you too.
yeah, guys,
Okay.
we're about to end the broadcast here. Thank you for joining us again. It's like I said, it's always a wonderful, and it's not not a wonderful opportunity. It's actually a privileged opportunity to be able to have a sport like football. I always say football is like a cosm of life. The
Mhm.
ups and downs of life are reflected in football. The never give up attitude, almost everything. You can go and pick up a lesson about it, and you don't even know what to expect. And it's the same thing with life. So take those same lessons and try and apply some of it to your daily lives, and be nice to each other. Remember, we're not getting out of this thing alive. We're not living. We're not taking any of these things here with us, but maybe we can have a few moments of joy, a few moments of laughter, or more moments, not just a few, but more moments of these things. And remember to
Mhm.
follow or subscribe. It's Footy Fantasy, excuse me, FOOTIE on YouTube and Facebook. Footy Fantasy. Hit that subscribe button, please. And on Twitter, it's Footy AD Fantasy. Please leave your comments on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. Tell us what you want to hear about, and we'll see you next week. Have a good week.